Hey.
Hi guys.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hi, Ashley. Hi, Kate.
Hi, I'm just getting to the sports park and then I can join with my camera. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Right, let's see.
Huh. Trying to find the there we are.
You got it?
Yeah. Perfectionism.
I
We're
know.
all perfect. We don't need to worry about it.
Oh,
That's
yes, we're
right.
gonna be perfect by the end of tonight.
We already are perfect. We're perfectly perfect.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Born
We
that
don't,
way.
if you strive for it, you're missing the point. We were born perfect.
Yep.
Then we forget that, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
then our parents and our therapists screw us up. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, it's true.
So wrong, so wrong. Sorry.
Well, it's partially true, depending on the therapist for sure, and the parent, right? I love
Yeah.
that. Such a beautiful photograph behind you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
it
Liz is
hanging in your
gonna.
house?
What's that?
Do you have it hanging in your house?
Nope, just on my Zoom.
Oh,
I know. I could fill the walls with that stuff. No, I couldn't.
yes, you could.
I mean, I wouldn't want to.
But it's such a beautiful photograph. It would be very pretty on your wall somewhere in your house.
Yeah, I don't know how it would work if it was blown up. I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Let's
I've
do
got
like,
Well, I
so.
can see it blown up because I've got you in the forefront, so it looks
Oh,
huge.
with my big head. So, yeah, I've got a lot of photographs. I've got a lot, and I don't know why, and I don't know what people are going to do with them when I die. I mean, I'm assuming they'll just throw out all my electronics, but I don't know. I take them thinking I'm going to do a painting someday, or it's going to be a reference for something,
Or
or
it could just be a photograph you put on your wall.
it could, but I've never done that, so I don't know how. Like if
I
I send it to like a print place, I don't know even who. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
have a
Go ahead.
recommendation if you want one.
Oh,
They'll
sure.
print it high quality and frame it. It's called
Okay.
Frame Bridge.
Cambridge. Okay.
Hi, Annie. I just put the link in the reading in the chat for you, okay? You
okay.
click on, scroll all the way down.
Yeah, because I have my art up,
Hmm.
a few pieces, because they're important to me.
Oh, speaking of art, I don't know if you guys know, Janice, I think you do, that I was working on a logo for the Native Bee Society. Well, I didn't win, but I came in second with just a couple of votes. So I felt happy that I put the effort into it.
Oh my
But
God.
it's funny because it goes with this reading, and even though, I didn't win, I still put myself down. Like as far like the we can get into it when we get into this reading, but it says somewhere in the reading something about like even if you do succeed, you tell yourself, where is it?
Should we just jump in?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of it,
Go
but
for it.
I
No,
figured,
no, go for it.
okay, go ahead and read and then yeah.
Okay. Link is in the chat. Let me
Okay.
open it up and then scroll all the way to the bottom. Tonight we're talking about perfectionism. Okay. Perfectionism Perfectionism has a rigid, compulsive quality to it and is accompanied by damaging self-judgment. For codependents, perfectionism exemplifies a core belief that we're not good enough to be accepted by others. Being average feels inferior, and anything less than perfect reflects how flawed we feel. Codependent perfectionists tend to compulsively aim to become their unattainable ideal self, unconsciously trying to be more acceptable to others. They seek perfection in order to feel worthwhile, taking credit for what goes right and hiding their mistakes when something goes wrong. In the process, they desperately resist making themselves vulnerable or being human. This impossible quest compensates for our buried shame. Yet the standard is impossible for us to achieve, and so our attempts to reach it continually fail. Chasing perfection supplies the critic with evidence of the perfectionist's inferiority, defectiveness, and guilt. There is no middle ground or room for error. The perfectionist is either good or bad, a success or failure. Perfectionists live under constant pressure to escape the critic's judgment, which they project, convincing them that others might also judge and reject them. The critic's verdict confirms what it already believes, that they are inadequate. Parents encourage perfectionism when they overcorrect children, pressure them to excel, or only approve of them based on their performance. Perfectionists dread failure and may even quit a difficult project to avoid failing. Learning or creating something new is difficult for them because the critic blocks learning and creativity by judging early efforts. When perfectionists quit, struggle, fail, or even make a mistake, they generate self-recriminations that can spin them into shame and depression. And when they do achieve their goal, they often diminish its importance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those paragraphs are profound. Most importantly, we're trained. See, perfectionism doesn't exist. It's a fantasy of ours, but we've been programmed and conditioned to try to achieve something that's not possible. It's like grabbing air. It's not possible. But yet we've been trained to believe it is possible. And we judge ourselves for something that isn't possible. So we're always going to fail at that. See what I'm saying? And that's why I brought this up, because it's like it, hopefully by the end of this group, we can recognize and let go of, to some degree, the fantasy. It's been trained, taught, ingrained. It's a belief. That's all. It's not even real. Do you guys know that?
Mhm. Yeah.
We're still being dominated by it and influenced by it. Like, I'm not the perfect this, I'm not the perfect that. I mean, think about a child trying to figure out who they are and want to be acknowledged and held and nurtured and attended to. And when they don't get that, they a lot of times turn in, if I were perfect, then I'd get it. And that's literally how it starts. If only I'd do this, if only I wasn't this, if only I would get my needs met. That's like a simple version of really where it stems from and comes from. And then it influences everything, our looks, our actions, our behavior, our thoughts, everything. It's like, right? You know, I love that she talks about it as a rigid, compulsive quality, accompanied by damaging self-judgment. Ugh. Sounds like a horrible idea. What comes up for you guys? Because it's a good reading.
Yeah, what was the passage, Kate, that you...
It was actually the last sentence. It was, and when we do achieve our goal, we often diminish its importance. And
Yes.
so it was, so I feel like I was I feel like I should feel that I was successful in participating and submitting a design for a logo. Okay. But just I told Eric that I didn't win because I just found out. And I told him, but I was second. Yeah, like, I mean, there's some good thing. Like, I diminished it right away by saying, but it wasn't the right one anyway. I know that the logo like wouldn't have made sense to use on banners and da da da. And I started going off on why mine shouldn't have been chosen anyway. Like, I don't know if it's exactly parallel to that sentence, but it's, I don't know. It's just, it ties into this because
It does.
this is all about this is exactly, and it's just so ridiculous because I hate calling myself a perfectionist because I always fall short of it anyway. So it's like I feel like I'm bloating my ego if I even say that I'm a perfectionist because that means that I'm pretty good at things. Like I don't know. It's so I've got a fucked up mind. Excuse my language, but like I'm like I can't even use that word because then I am thinking
I'm human
it's
too.
crazy.
I'm not perfect enough. I can't
I'm
even
not,
use that word.
That was
yes,
a perfectionist spiral, right?
it's crazy. Yes, yes, yes.
And since it doesn't even exist, it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to even say, Kate, even if you had one, let's just say you had one, you would still diminish it and pick it apart and say, I could have done it better.
Oh, absolutely. If I won, yeah, I would have been terrified and would have been like the, yeah, absolutely. Oh my God.
That's the cycle, It's like we can't just say, God, I did a really amazing job.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
did.
But I'm seeing it and I'm aware of it and I have said out loud that I am proud that I followed through and submitted it, even though I don't think it should have won. Like, I mean, like
Yeah, but don't caveat it. Don't,
I know. Yeah.
you know?
You should be proud of yourself. And are you actually saying that you are not perfect at being you're perfectionist? You
Yeah.
want to be a
I guess.
you want to be a perfect perfectionist?
Yeah, I guess I'm not clear on what I'm trying to say. I just think that if I say that I have perfectionism tendencies or whatever, I try to just like let's say I'm saying that to a friend or something, then I feel like an idiot because I don't even come close to being like how can if someone thinks that I think that I'm a perfectionist, then they must think that I think that I'm good at everything. Like it's just yeah, I don't know what I'm saying there, Annie. Sorry.
No. I think you're I I mean, just like Janice said, it's like an unattainable quality. So I was just
Right.
like, of course you're a perfectionist because you want to be perfect at being a perfectionist. So by just that statement alone, I think that makes you a perfectionist. If you have to be perfect at being a perfectionist. So, I mean, I can totally relate to being a perfectionist. So, but I think you should just be really proud of yourself for submitting anything. That takes a lot of bravery, especially for someone who has perfectionist tendencies, if that's how you
Yeah.
wanted to define it, because I know that's prevented me and a lot of times from doing things that I wanted to do because I didn't think anyone would like them or it wouldn't be good enough, and just like the rejection and the critic and all of that was like too overwhelming to even take the risk. So
And if you imagine everything you just said, you did to yourself. It's
yeah.
not even about anybody else. You judged yourself, you criticized yourself, you weren't good enough. All of that we impose on ourselves. It's not about anybody else imposing that on us.
Yeah, but because I do it to myself, I think others do it, and that is so
I
damn
know.
deeply ingrained that
I know.
I'm convinced
I know.
because I judge myself, I judge others, I am admittedly, and therefore everyone's judging me. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm aware of it, and I don't know, yeah, it's so ingrained.
it
It's
is.
so ingrained that it's the truth in me, and but I'm talking about it, so I'm aware of it, and so thank you all.
Right. Yeah. It's how many times we beat ourselves up with perceived fantasies about what other people are perceiving about us. We spend so much time in that hell, imagining,
Yes. And
creating.
I think that like what we build up in our minds Like people are not thinking about us as much as we think they are.
Yeah,
Even if
agreed.
they are, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
that's super self-involved. Yeah, I've got a huge ego, man. My ego is huge. Yeah, they say in AA rooms too. They say like I've got uh I'm an maniac with inferiority complex. So basically just all I think about is myself, but I also think I'm worthless. But all I think about is myself. And that everybody's thinking about me. Yeah, what an idiot. Oh God, I'm gonna shut up. I am rambling.
No, you're right on target.
Mm.
Julianne,
I was gonna, I was trying to look up the reading, but um, anyways, Kate, what you said reminded me of something that happened during the Summer Olympics that I recognized. I don't know if it was this with this group that I shared. When did you start this group, Janice?
I don't know.
Oh, I can tell you.
Several months ago, there's a lot of readings.
March 20th.
Really? Anyways, um, I I remember I was watching the Olympics and I was watching the gymnastics, Simone Biles, and she did, I think it was like the floor routine or whatever, and she didn't do it perfectly. And when she was done, she was so stoked. And I was like my body had such a reaction to that because I was like, you didn't do it perfectly. Like, you're the Olympian, like you're the one, you're supposed to be the best one in the world. And I was like, it was just so mind-blowing to me that I've been living this life of just like constantly beating myself up. I mean, obviously with this work, I've been doing it, so it was easy to recognize that it was a problem with me. Um, but yeah, just to see her like she just brushed it off and kept going and still won whatever she won, probably gold, I don't remember. Um, but like I recognized that she could enjoy her life, herself, and be proud of herself for just what she did, even if it wasn't perfect. I thought it was just like it falls into this whole thing, and I am such a perfectionist. Um, Here, I'm gonna do. I don't want to like lower my camera too much because this is what my bed looks like. My cat eats on it. My laundry isn't folded. I mean, sure, it's the bedroom, but still, like, I don't want anyone to enter my house because it is not perfect. And like, there's so much that goes through, like, my body carries so much weight because of that. And I don't, I don't celebrate my achievements because I don't deserve, like, they weren't perfect, they weren't good enough, they weren't this, they weren't that. Like, yeah, me too. That's my ramble.
No, I think, thank you for sharing that. It's that fantasy that we've been conditioned to, that let people in your house that just enjoy you.
I
You
don't
know,
know, Julianne, the one thing that I was thinking about when you were talking is in a share on our gratitude group, you said that even though I didn't surf any waves, I got out this morning for sunrise and sat on my paddleboard. And I'm like, that is a huge win. I think you acknowledged it. So that was awesome. I
There are
love
days when
that.
I can see it, and then there are days when I can
Yeah.
also see what it's a work in progress because I think it used to be like 92% of my life was perfectionism, and now maybe it's like 60%. So, yeah.
it's like, even just imagine, what is perfectionism? What is it? It's a,
And you know, it was this last one where she had done all the work on her mental health.
That's what Annie just asked. Is that what you were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was
Cool.
this the Olympics that Simone Biles pulled out to deal with her mental health issues? She had done the work already to probably to be able to like congratulate herself and not.
You're doing the best she could do at that time.
Yeah, Janice, one thing that came up for me during the reading that I wanted to ask about was you said, or when you were talking after the reading, you said something about like how we wanted something. So like when I've like phased out, completely forgotten all of my traumas around success as a child. But like when my brother had the best hockey game, they won, he scored all the goals, and the only thing that we talked about ever in the car, well, because I didn't have a life, I had to go to hockey. The only thing that would be talked about was what he could have done better. So in that instance, the message was that in order to be loved, you had to beat yourself up. And so now it becomes a choice, or because that's how you like take accountability for it. Sometimes it's hard to like go from my parents were assholes to like it's now my responsibility.
Well, look at it this way. It's your responsibility to not beat yourself up.
Yeah,
That's what they did. They did that enough. They trained you,
right.
and just imagine if you could hold the space that no matter how much effort, how little effort, whatever you do is enough. It just is. We're like based on some kind of merit system. If I don't put 100% in and get the accolades, and it's like, no, it can be that today I got up and brushed my teeth and went to work. That's worth celebrating. We don't do that. It's like perfectionism means some big, I don't even know what it is. It's like a universe that doesn't exist, and we have standards around that fantasy. I mean, it's no different than the white knight coming on the horse. That's another fantasy that we're not going to get. You know what I'm saying? It's like we
Well,
have all these fantasies.
but Janice, I mean, to go with Julianne's example of the Olympians, like if you get up and brush your teeth every morning and consider a successful day, then
Yeah.
you're not going to be a gold medalist. So like where is that balance? That's
I
like
don't know. Do you want to be a gold medalist? I don't.
I don't know, but maybe I do. And so
Well, I don't think so.
oh, well, okay. If I was 8, maybe. But okay, that's a bad example then. So, but I'm just being honest. I struggle with like giving myself accolades or giving myself compassion for just getting through a day versus pushing myself to not be perfect, but more towards an image.
Oh,
I
success.
don't know. It's a success. So, okay, maybe it's a little twist on the reading, and I don't want to dominate this conversation, but it came up and I had to voice it because I don't know where that is. Like pushing yourself to achieve things to a certain degree versus being okay with just brushing your teeth.
I have the same
I
reaction as you, Kate. Like I was like, what if I do want to be a gold medalist? What if I did? But it feels like I wasn't able to because I wasn't able to win at anything.
I don't believe that. I don't.
I'd love to share my thoughts because I can definitely relate, right? I can totally relate to the feeling of like, well, what do you mean don't give myself praise for the accolades of doing? That's all I knew. And I definitely can relate to the reading with this perfectionism. I mean, It dominated most of my life. I think it drove me to addiction. I think there's so many reasons why perfectionism is the root of my low self-esteem. Because I feel like I never gave myself a chance to know what I wanted. Like, do I want to be a gold medalist? And like, that was never a question I was asked. It was, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want? What do I do next to make it better than what I just did? And what do I do better than that person over there, or you, or them? And it was never about me. And so I think that the reason I say that about the gold medalist is only because, not because I haven't felt like that in a million like different ways. Like, I just need to do more. I just need to do more. And then also struggling in recovery with the concept of like, you know, Janice is my therapist, and she's like, just stop doing anything. And I mean, like, I've based my whole life on achievement, like literally on achievement. And I never stopped to say, what am I without those achievements? And to be honest, in the last 4 years, yeah, I've been sober, so that certainly helped. But I think I've done more. I've been more me, and I have freed myself from that bondage that's so well described in this reading of self-perpetuating judgment that then turns to judgment of others, which then turns back on me because I'm a bitch and I'm mean and I'm judging. But that's not because I'm mean. It's because I'm mean inside, and it's all judgy in there, and I just can't get out of it. So for me, it's not about like what I can do. It's about, what am I without all the doing? And then like, maybe the point is just to be the best that. Not best. Best isn't the right word, but to be the fullest version of that not doing. I had a really cool downloaded meditation today, and it totally relates to this. It was like, we always say, oh, it's second nature, it's second nature. And so to me, like, movement, loving music has always been like second nature. But there I was, like, doing my yoga flow, you know, I'm so in it. And I'm like, oh, it's like second nature to me now. And then I'm like kind of thinking to myself, like, well, yeah, that's ego, one. Two, but like, the point is our first nature. Like, I'm doing all of this just to come back to not what's second nature, not what I need to be reminded is me, not that I need to say that's like, oh, I'm so in the zone, but like, to my first nature. Like, that's like where it's at for me, like my first nature, the way nature intended, I guess, without all the extra stuff on top. So yeah, I think that's sort of what came up for me in this reading, and definitely this whole judgment thing. I continue to, I mean, like the not finishing stuff, like I did that so much of my life, and it was self-sabotaging because I'd get 90% done and I would think it was good and worth, and then it would be like, you know what I mean? Like, I would somehow make some kind of whatever it was excuse or move on to the next shiny object. And I realized that a lot of that was based on this perfectionism, this lack of self-worth. And oddly, the way I feel like I've sort of noticed that I'm not judging myself is the way I'm not like caring so much what people think of me. Maybe it's perimenopause too, but like, I really feel as though like this perfectionism is starting to come away when I can just be very authentic. And I'm like, well, because really, what, you know, what does it matter what they think of me, you know? And the more I like myself, the more I'm able to be like, God, all those things I used to worry about was really what I didn't like about me, not what they didn't like about me. You know, like the messy house for sure. Like, I'm so about that. But like, when people come to my home, they never noticed the messy house. They noticed like what it is that I have to offer. It was always me that was in my head about it. And even the energy that I would give off being in my head about it, like I would miss the connection. Anyway, those are all my random thoughts.
No, I love all that.
I love that. I love that last thing you said so much, that you missed the connection because you're in your head worrying about being perfect or whatever.
Yeah. I used to obsess about cleaning and having the house look perfect. And I was like, no one noticed. Like, and when I had a roommate who would invite people over for dinner, I'd be like, oh, you just sprung this on me last minute. Now I have to clean the house and like make everything look beautiful. And so I would do that. And I would like stress myself out about it. And he would just be making a huge mess in the kitchen. And everyone would come over and everyone loved the food. He was just like the consummate host because he was just so friendly and just chill and, just made everybody feel good and welcome. And like no one noticed any of the cleaning. No one was ever like, ow, your house is so clean. Like they could care less. Even if the food had been terrible and the house had been a disaster, it was like because he just made them feel welcome. So I realized then I was like, but that was a long time ago, and I still struggle with this. So even though I intellectually know this, living it is hard. But I just wanted to say something really quickly, if you guys don't mind. I was just saying, well, I know, Julianne, nice job on folding your clothes, but she asked, what am I without all the doing? And I think I was just thinking like the process of doing is the accomplishment. Like that's just that in itself is like the accomplishment that I hope to gain. At least that's kind of how I'm trying to do things now, is that the gain is like the process, not like the goal. The process is the goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I believe the doing is distraction and being is the goal. Because we do constantly and distract from being.
Well, no, I just mean like doing as a process of being, right? I mean, not like I'm doing something just to do it. I'm doing this because this is like what I feel drawn to doing. This is like what, I don't know. Is that not
I
what you're
don't know.
thinking?
I just personally don't do. I
Another way of looking at it is maybe like being present no matter what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
I used to really not enjoy a lot of things that I find joy in now. And I haven't changed much. Like I'm still me. But like doing dishes and things like that, like I just find joy in the mundane because I think maybe it's just the way I perceive it now. And like I kind of hear what you're saying a little bit. I hear that in what you're saying. Like the process is the joy, not the goal. Not the end goal of whatever it is that you're doing, but like being there while you're doing it. And for me,
Yeah.
I think that's a really big part of this, like unwinding perfectionism, because it's so goal oriented, right? And like Janice is telling us, like it's a fake goal. Like we're literally teasing ourselves with a fantasy and beating ourselves up for not being able to achieve it. Like it's so crazy, right? If you think of it like that. I mean, it's not real.
Right. And just be mindful of the doing because it really is a mindset and it distracts, it's a distraction. If you're being all the time in a process, whatever, let's say it's having to do dishes. I don't do dishes, I'm engaged in it. I don't do things, I'm engaged or experiencing it.
I guess that's what I meant. I didn't mean like, I don't know.
That's
That,
Yeah, I
okay.
feel like that's really good. I feel like that's a really good reframe,
yeah.
because, you're I just think that's a really great way of looking at it, because then you don't like the whole procrastination thing I experienced as part of depression is an avoidance of the doing. It's
Yes.
almost like a retaliation against like I'm exhausted, you know?
Right?
Like I'm just sick of doing. And then like I retreat into this kind of non-doing
Yes.
retaliatory state. But if I'm just not, if I don't do that anymore and I try to reframe it as like, I could see that working, like when I'm in my little period mode, depressed kind of state, like I'm not going to do the dishes. I'm just going to be me engaged in doing in
You're
dishes.
gonna engage in it.
I'm going to be me engaged in dishes, in dishwashing. I like that.
It does make a difference. It
It
does.
makes a difference. Yeah.
Because you don't resist. Doing is something we're forced to do or have our check off list. I can see where you resist it.
And knowing me, I know you can see that. Like it definitely is kind of a yin and yang with the perfectionism. If it can't be perfect, like then why do it at all?
Right.
It's a very big part of my disorder.
My
You
mind
know,
is blown from all of this. Thank you.
yeah, it's a very complicated untangling, but it's not hard if you understand what it's like whenever you're untangling anything, if you're focused on it and you're aware of it, it's like you can do it. But if you don't know you're in the midst of it, how do you get out of it? We're conditioned to do in this culture. We're praised, we're given rewards, we're given gold stars, doing, doing, doing. I mean, Nike, just do it. I mean, that resonates with us because that's what we do. We just do it. We don't question it. Like, you guys were talking about even the gold medal. I'll bet you most, if not all, of kids that are in that competitive thing did not choose it. I'm just going to speak to it.
Oh, yeah.
Did not choose it. They were forced and scheduled and forced and scheduled and dominated. Had they had a choice, I don't know if they would have. I mean, that's interesting to even imagine. They might have, but probably unlikely. You get the freedom now. It's like be what you want to be and engage in it. And I am being simple about it, but just getting up and brushing your teeth and taking care of yourself, that's huge. That isn't a process that's self-love. And that's more important than anything is the acts of self-love. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah, and I want to say something about the self-love ties into it, but also like you said something about we can be whatever we want to be. And like, am I alone here in thinking like, well, that's not perfect enough? Like, I've really been like, I haven't worked in well over a year at this point. I'm like, I've said like I've been really trying to accept myself as is. There's still constantly some sort of shame that comes up during the day of like, you're not doing enough. But then I also find myself on those like 40% of the day where I'm not trying to be a perfectionist, where I'm like actually like connecting with myself and being like, what do I want my life to be like? And it is so like, it's so scary. Like at my body, even just talking about it right now, like I'm feeling it all around my torso, just like tightening up because it's like, I, I don't feel like I have permission to do that. And I need to give myself permission to do that. And I give myself permission to, if I wanted to go get a gold medal somewhere, give myself permission to do that and be proud of it. And like I plan on starting a business. Like I have such a hard time saying it out loud to people because I'm like I suck at business. I'm not worthy of being a successful business owner and that goes back to trauma, but at the same time, I think this all ties into it. Like I feel that push and pull, the paradox all day long these days as I'm like trying to step into like I'm running out of money. So like I'm gonna have to make moves, but to just like do it without fear and without that need for perfection, because I can find myself all of a sudden being like, I need the perfect business name, I need all the things in place, the perfect website, I need the all the handles and all the social media. It takes 2 seconds for me to go down that path, but like when I'm not there, it actually feels good and easy.
Mhm.
So thank you for letting me
Yes.
express that.
And I'll say one more thing about each of you. You are the gold medal. It's just like you don't have to go find it. You know, you are everything. It's serious, you guys. We put everything outside of us that we're attaining instead of recognizing the most amazing path is the journey to you. It is the path. The rest of the things will come on that path. They do. If you get out of your own way, like you were saying, Julian, that you get in your head or you start judging or you're worried about perfection. I got to have the best this, the best that. No, just be you and do it, and it will be everything it needs to be. And it will evolve. It will evolve. You know, we just get in our own ways. My God, we get in our own ways. You know, and I'm proud of you. Go do your business. Of course you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. I believe that about you.
It's like I know that about me. I've climbed Mount Whitney. I've done some insane things that most people have never done. And yet, yeah, anything that's tied to the childhood trauma is just like too vulnerable, not good enough. But evolving is a concept that I had to understand exists. Thank you for
Yeah.
using that word.
You know, and the childhood trauma is what we all struggle with, and it frames us, but it doesn't have to define us. You know, we can expand, get more, create more than that. That does not have to, you don't have to identify with it. I'm not saying it doesn't need to be noticed and healed, but we identify a lot of times with all that stuff because we don't know how to separate from it. You know? Does that make sense? How are you doing, Annie?
I'm good. I'm just thinking and listening. Um, so, um, yeah, I think I've definitely been trying to like take a back seat and just on the perfectionism aspect and not let that try like take over everything and just let things be more like uh, so. And that's been it's been a struggle for me because I feel like I always should be doing something. Again, the D word, doing. Might have to banish that from my vocabulary for a week.
Right?
But yeah, just kind of yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I've got to get my dogs. You guys keep talking. He's getting groomed.
Okay. One thing that's coming up for me in this conversation is how a couple of things that you know, this whole being versus doing. Oh, looks like we lost Ashley. And how perfectionism gets in the way of connection, right? And I think it's because perfectionism takes us out of the present. And when I think of that, I think of my addiction and how it was so uncomfortable to be present with myself or in wherever I was, really, that I, you know, there are so many dissociate, drink, whatever, uh, kind of fall into an abyss of depression, that like I think of um how it's kind of similar to that. Like perfectionism is another way we hurt ourselves. You know, it's another way that it takes us out of being. Like what Janice was saying, we can do things, but we're not being. And I think that the difference between being and doing is whether or not we're present to our experience. Does that make sense at all?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Kate, were you gonna
No,
say
I was
something?
gonna say I was just 100%. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I think about that a lot, like all of the different ways that we can not be present to our experience, to our feelings, to you know, there I mean just countless ways. And as people recovering from trauma and addiction, I mean that's a very important thing to understand. At least that's for me, that really resonates. How's Rumi?
He looks so cute.
Does he?
Mhm.
He's like doing zoomies.
Oh,
Oh,
I love that.
Hi. Here, hold on. Let me show you real quick.
Oh my God, he's so cute. Look at him
oh,
dying. He's so cute.
he is so cute.
He's bouncy.
Yeah, he's all jacked up. He's like, I've been in there for 2 hours. Hi, baby. I'm sorry I missed that, what you guys were talking about, but
I was just, yeah, it was good. I was just saying how, you know, like the being versus doing,
Mhm.
like when you're doing and when you're caught in perfectionism, you're like off somewhere. You're not present to your experience. So it's like one of those other things that we hurt ourselves with, and it's like an addiction in that way.
Yes. I was going to say it's like its own addiction.
Oh, and
Except,
because
And
what,
it's just another way to not be in life. You're
yeah,
not
yeah,
being life when you're doing. You're not.
yeah.
Or you're in perfectionism. You are outside of life.
Mm.
You're wasting your time. You're not living.
And it's not seeing really the truth of like your experience and reality. You're making up things or you're in your head as
yeah,
the being present in your body.
Right.
yeah. And I was thinking like I would spend so much time like thinking about all the mistakes I made. Like I said the wrong thing. I should have done this. Should have done that. I didn't do this right. I would spend so much time like rehashing this and like what I should have done or oh gosh, now this person like thinks this of me because I said that. In reality, like they're not. But I frame all this as like I made all these mistakes. Like everything I do just felt like a mistake, and it was like it was completely overwhelming. But I was thinking about this after reading this, and I was like, I wrote it out as like on reframing mistakes. Just because I made a mistake today does not mean I need to correct it, nor do I have to. And in all likelihood, it is not a mistake. It is merely an oversight, a misperception, a distortion of reality. And like, life is not a test in which there is a grade. I don't have to be like straight, yeah. Anyway, you get it. I think what I'm saying. Hopefully makes some kind of sense.
I agree. I feel like it's been a recent revelation that like I don't have to be whatever the grade is.
Yeah, who's grading us? We are degrading us. That's what we do.
My critic doesn't like to give out good grades.
I have a sticky note that I put next to my bed so I can see it more often. I think I ended it with to be continued, and I haven't continued it, but here's what it says. To my inner critic, I am a good person when nobody is watching. Please stop interrupting me when I'm sitting in nature or doing anything. To be continued. Because it disturbs, like, I'll sit on my surfboard and criticize myself for an hour,
That sounds horrible.
and I'm in the ocean. Like, think of sharks or something.
No, you've got to pause that for sure. That's your favorite place. Don't start criticizing and getting all heady.
Oh yeah, it's a constant practice nowadays to do that.
Oh,
But it's better than it used to be. At least
that's
I'm not
okay.
imagining that I'm gonna get arrested when I go to the beach. Like,
I get it. I get it.
doesn't make any sense.
And just add a little gratitude while you're wah, wah, wah. Like you get to be on the surfboard, you get to be in the beautiful ocean, you get to experience it.
I get to see dolphins.
Yeah,
I get
sounds so much better,
yeah.
right?
I get to surf a wave that was created in a far off ocean by wind from a storm.
There you go.
And it's from like the coast of Antarctica. So cool.
I know. You get to do all that. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys. This was a good group.
Yeah, really, really good. Thank you.
I think this is my favorite one ever. Thank you, lady.
Oh,
It is
good.
your shares like have blown my mind. And Annie, what you shared, thank you. Kate, you bumblebee, or I don't you're
Yeah, the bee.
the
Yeah.
bee, the bee.
The bee is being.
I'd love to see what you drew. If
Oh, it's great. I saw it.
Oh shit. No.
I'm
Oh.
not going to
I
share
forgot
it.
I couldn't believe I shared that with you. Anyway, we're getting off. No, you can't see it. I would never share it with anyone else.
Anyway, but she actually showed me two, and they were both lovely and wonderful and creative. That's just my truth, or I wouldn't have brought it up.
I'm sure it is. I don't draw
It
because
is.
I think I suck at it. So
It got better, Janice. I'm embarrassed. Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Good night.
thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.